Chairman. I thank all of you for being here today. I'm a livestock producer as well. My family has a cattle ranch in the Nebraska Sandhills, and we have a cow-calf business there. Dr. Lusk, many of our witnesses have touched on the Holcomb fire and its impact on cattle markets. And things, as you know, are rough right now in the ag economy. In my area, we had a drought for 8 years. Now we have plenty of rain, but obviously cattle prices are down the last 6 years. We have trade wars. We have rising input costs. We see extreme weather all across the state of Nebraska, so this list goes on and on and on. To add to this, fed and feeder cattle prices are down and boxed beef prices are up. And the packer margin is high. Nobody's going to argue with that, I would doubt. In your testimony, you say that this can be expected, and that with a reduction in packing capacity due to the fire, cattle demand is reduced and cattle prices suffer. But because the demand for beef has stayed the same, wholesale beef prices have increased. So using your modeling that you have, when this facility comes back online and packing capacity is going to be restored, prices should come back up, correct?
Certainly over the long run, I think that extra margin that you referred to is the incentive needed to induce more packing capacity to come online, whether it's additional slaughter on weekends, conversion of plants that are currently processing, say, cows, transitioning to steers and heifers. It's that, those things cost extra money, and those heightened margins are what will induce the industry eventually to try to add back some of that capacity. So the question is, how quickly will that, how long does that take? How quickly will it occur? I don't know the answer to that, but I think the incentives in the system are there to eventually add back some capacity over time. And some of that will probably be in response. You talked about the cattle prices, and a lot of that, corresponds to inventory and changing inventory over time and with the cattle cycle. And, to the extent there are more, cattle coming online, that will also probably over time produce an inducement to add some more packing capacity.
Okay. Well, certainly we hope it is sooner rather than later, because if those prices do not come up, I think we can begin to explore some of the other factors that may be at play in this arena. For time's sake, though, I'm going to move to Ms. Houston. Happy to have you here today. The time is limited, so I'm going to be brief. Based on a recent Farm Bureau analysis, I see that packer margins have significantly increased since the fire. We know the margin is the difference between the price they buy cattle at and the price they sell the wholesale beef at. So I think it's safe to say that at least right now, packers are doing all right. They're doing okay. And suppliers are getting hit and getting hit hard. I'm looking at last week's close. Fed cattle, down. Feeder cattle, down. Wholesale prices, up. So I just want to be clear on this. Who is being hurt right now? And are you hearing from these folks?
Certainly we're hearing from our members. I think at this point, probably the feedlot, the feeders are getting hurt the most. It is trickling down, obviously, to the cow-calf producer, too. We do realize that it is part of the cycle, as Dr. Lusk said, in numbers. Luckily, though, a lot of the capacity was being able to take up, whether it was by more Saturday kill. So we could even be in a worse situation. It's certainly not a good one, but there was a long time when packers didn't have a lot of margin and other parts were making a lot more money. So we hope things will stabilize pretty soon. Certainly the optics to our members are bad, and especially when the ones that are feeling hurt because of floods, in addition, fires, all these other things. This is just one extra thing that we certainly didn't need in the beef industry.
Right. Well, I hope NCBA continues to advocate for us. It's important. And Mr. Eaton, I want to give you the opportunity to comment on this issue as well. What are you hearing from your members, and do they believe that other factors are at play here?
Yeah, thank you, Senator. Yeah, when the fire happened, we had 2.5 days of the futures going straight down. And to your question, will the prices go up when the plant opens up? You should pay attention and see if the futures go up for 2.5 days, because I don't think they will. The members, they're very concerned because the packers created this additional margin. The cutout went out $22 the first 3 days after the fire before a fat calf was even purchased. Then we lowered the fat cattle price $7, and they maintained that margin going ahead weeks ahead. So there's severe frustration that they captured this margin and have kept it even as the prices for the cutout have come down recently. And Senator Tester has asked the chief economist to look into the pricing mechanisms, that they are transparent in determining true price discovery. And I'd ask that you join on that with Senator Tester and we look into that. But yeah, our members are very worried about the way things turned out.
I look forward to working with all of you folks in making sure that we have a fair market to be able to sell our products to. Thank you very much.